So here at Sharkeez, first up is David with particle space.
David, I'm going to do a minute here, and then we're going to switch to that. Got it. Got it. So imagine waking up in the middle of the night because a fire alarm is going off inside your apartment. What do? Well, you grab your possessions and you grab your family, you run outside. Well, in 2017, there were 1.3 million structural fires, costing an estimated $23 billion in damage. Damages to property, possession, and even loss of life. To think all of this could have been avoided through a simple-to-use property management application. So what are we? What do we do? Particle Space is a 3D property management application that takes the file cabinet, which is tenant information, contracts, lease data, and the physical aspect of a building being door sensors, flood sensors, smoke alarms, and it creates a central platform, what we call space management, which allows you to visually see your space and all the activity that is occurring within the property to have instant awareness as to what is going on. So let me give you an example. When a fire department is responding to a fire, what do? Generally, the fire marshal is responsible for getting the structural plans to the building, right, to determine what the layout, where can we enter in. And if they had particle space, they could know instantly where the fire is, where it's occurring, how it's spreading, the temperature inside. And what does that do? That makes things more efficient, saves lives, right? And so what's our market? Well, there's 105 million renters in America. And that's an estimated value of $98 million that we can make. And that's focused purely on the residential industry, right? We plan to take this not only to Kansas City, but nationally and worldwide. So who are we? My name is David. I'm the CEO, creator, founder of Particle Space. I have over a decade of experience in the tech industry. I've specialized in image processing, machine learning. I work for prestigious companies like Google. Most recently, iVerify. We were purchased by Alibaba. My brother, Joe, he handles all the business and sales initiatives. He also works for one of the largest healthcare resellers in Kansas City area. And so together, we plan to bring Particle Space to Kansas City, but also nationally and then worldwide. And so what are our asks? What do we need? Well, we need connections into the residential area. And that can look like property managers who manage a few homes to large complexes. We also need connections into commercial, so warehouses, cold storage, you name it. Governments, that could be who want to know waterways, the flow of water, if pipes are breaking, et cetera. And then even schools, because we have some interesting safety features that we can share with you at the next round. So in 2019, Particle Space plans to change the way space is managed. By providing an affordable and easy-to-use platform, Particle Space ultimately saves money, time, and essentially lives. Thank you.
We got questions? So who's your customer? Who are you selling to right now?
So anyone who owns space, whether you manage it or own it, and you want to know, it could be building automation systems, it could be managing tenant information, it could be knowing if a door is open, or governments.
All right, so you're looking for, so what we can do to help you out right now is if you own space, call
yes,
David. Call David,
absolutely.
Educate your website. Any other questions? Got one in the back right here.
Yes.
So your customer, people who own space, but is your ultimate goal then so the owners have to be there so that the fire department then can use that in case there's a fire? Is that the end result goal?
No, so think of everything in the world runs out of a building, correct? In some form or fashion. And everything can be connected. Why did IoT come? IoT came to bring internet access to these proprietary systems that are expensive, like building automation systems. And so essentially what we're doing is we're eliminating this complex ecosystem and creating a central platform that allows you to see and visualize all space. So what that means for fire departments is they just have the app, right? They can, boom, there's a fire here, open it, and they'll actually see that building, that floor is blinking in representation of the sensor going off. They click the floor and they actually see the layout of that floor and where that sensor is on fire, showing like a hue map around it, right? The temperature gauge and whatnot. And that's just one application. But now think of how this could be applied to all sorts of avenues, schools, right? Storage facilities, commercial buildings, office spaces, if a flood detects. Wouldn't you love to know if a flood occurred, before you get there at 6 in the morning? Yes, absolutely. So there's a number of aspects. So what we do is we have two ways. You can either upload a schematic, right, of your building plan, or you can just use a basic 3D models that we have. You can just kind of duplicate the template. So the more of the concept is, think of Google Maps, how you zoom in on a city and how it makes the scale models. It's kind of keeping it basic like that, right? And everything is in the cloud. So, we keep everything 100% secure, and also it's based on, if we're communicating with your sensors in your building, it's determined on your infrastructure, just to kind of makes a secure connection for us to communicate back and forth through, just like a RESTful API, right?
All right. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. That was,
all right. Thank you.